So I've been hearing on Twitter, in my Facebook group with my subscribers, that the summer is a tough time for finding freelance writing jobs. And I'm struggling too. I'm not as devoted to finding work, but what effort I am putting in, I'm not seeing a return. How do you continue this freelance writing business if things are sort of drying up in the summer? Well, I want to talk about how you can find long-term clients, because that is the answer to this problem, is finding long-term freelance writing jobs that can handle the summer, the fall, the winter, Christmas, holidays, whatnot. All right, because this is what is helping me maintain my freelance income by having a few stable and long-term clients. So if you are just stuck at this one-off jobs, then pay attention here. Let's look at how we can gain these long-term clients. The first thing you can do is start looking for blogging clients. Blogging clients need consistent content every week, every month, year after year after year. I was fortunate to land blogging jobs right out of the gate when I started my freelance writing business. And so you can easily do this by looking at specific job boards. I do have a video showing you the top job boards for writers, and one of them is Blogging Pro. I like Blogging Pro because it is blogging jobs here. These are blogging jobs that need writers. So here is a spirits writer. This is liquor and alcohol. I don't know if it shows how often they need articles. No, this one doesn't. Sometimes with jobs, it'll tell you that they need weekly content. Gutter repair. Okay, so they're looking to add 1 to 2 writers to produce here 3 to 5 pieces of content per week. There you go. This can be a long-term client if this is your niche, home repair, things like that. So I would definitely invest in taking the time to look at specific job boards that talk about blogging jobs. You can even filter if it doesn't sort of look like blogging jobs, like a magazine job board, like Media Bistro might not have a lot of blogging jobs. Glassdoor may not have a lot of blogging jobs. You can put something like blogger, blogging, content writing as a filter to see if you can find these companies that need weekly content, because that's what you want to strive for. You want to build your client list of about 3 to 5 blogging clients, because those will need consistent content and you can rely on them down the road. And you can see one of my first blogging clients was Blogging Wizard, and I wrote for years for this client. And I mean, I have my author page here has 3 pages of content, even though it says it's updated for this year. I mean, I started writing for him, I believe in 2015, 2016, like right early in my freelance journey. That's when I picked up this client, and I wrote for him on this blog, and then he asked me to write for other sites that he owned. And it was a nice, consistent income for me that lasted year after year. And so I was very fortunate to get that type of job right out the gate. And it's still possible, as you just saw in the Blogging Pro job board, that there are companies that need writers. Now, you might be thinking, well, geez, everyone is going to AI. And you might hear that. But to be honest, most of the world out there, most of the business people out there that aren't looking at YouTube, that aren't on these specific blogs, don't really know the impact of AI as a content writer kind of thing. All right. They just hear about AI and this ChatGPT, but they're not really aware of it. So there are companies that are still needing writers, and they will post on these job sites. Now, what if a client needs just a one-off piece? Typically, those are copywriting clients. So a person might email me and ask me, hey, do you do landing pages? I need a landing page for my new meal planner. And so I can engage with them and ask them all the right information and create a really nice landing page for them. Well, what I would do in that situation is to get more projects from this client. I would ask them, hey, you know what? Do you want me to write an email funnel for that lead magnet? I can definitely help you with that. Do you need a sales page for any upcoming products? I can do that for you. Or do you want me to write some blog posts and direct people to sign up to that meal planner landing page? You know, like I can offer these projects that are consistent. Now, the sales page isn't consistent, but they might order an email funnel, they might order a sales page, and then that gives me at least a bit more work with that client. And then over time, I can say, hey, what about a blog? You know, so I can work with this client. If it's something that they need these products quickly, I can get that to them. And then I can talk about the advantages of blogging, that it's a good lead generation. We can market on Pinterest. You can create YouTube videos and we can embed them in your blog posts. And I can direct people to your lead magnets to grow your email list and then get people to sign up to your program. Like, it's a whole engine that I can help them as a freelance writer. Now, as I mentioned in a lot of videos, because of this whole AI thing, you need to be more than just a freelance writer. You need to sort of dip your toes in this content strategy realm of helping these businesses with other types of content to fuel their content strategy, right? So you need to sort of act as that sort of pillar person to help them and guide them. Like, well, I can help you with an email funnel, and then I can help you with blog for lead generation. I can write more landing pages, and I can do all these things. And then we can market on Twitter and on Instagram, and then you can start a YouTube channel, and you can suggest these things to support them. And then you can be the writer for that specific company, that specific person that needs that content. This is where one-off jobs can really propel writers to long-term clients. Another way to snatch long-term clients is when you're negotiating with new prospects, start offering them a deal for your services. Especially in the summer, I tend to do this just so I can get on the good graces of these business owners, and then maybe they can refer me to other. I can ask them later on, hey, I'm looking to pick up another gig. Do you know anyone in your circle of business friends that you can direct me towards? And most likely they will know of another person, another business that needs a writer. So for a deal might be like you add, your 4 blog posts, but you throw in and I can write a month's worth of tweets for you as part of the deal. Like you get that for free from me kind of thing. You can find something that's not going to take you a lot of time. This is where you can use something like ChatGPT or Jasper to help you write those tweets. It's not going to take you more than probably 5 to 10 minutes to write them, right? So you can offer these deals where you can leverage AI to help you speed up that process. So write the blog content. I can create one lead magnet for you, a 5 to 10 page guide every month, and that's free kind of thing. Right? You can think of some things that are easy for you. Don't make it hard for you, okay? If the blog writing is hard for you, then that's where you're going to make the most money. And then you throw in these things on the side for a deal. You can also just stick to blog writing and say, instead of charging you 4 a month, I'll only charge you 3 a month kind of thing. You can do something like that for just the summer and make it clear that this is just your summer deal. Other deals that you can probably leverage is editing. Maybe they have other writers. Well, then you can throw in your editing services for free or at a discount along with your blog writing, right? So you're making slightly more money if you can offer another service at a discount for that service. Every month, you might gain another extra $100 to $200. So that can help you if you find that you are not getting a lot of clients over the summer. Another thing that you can do to start landing more consistent work is to circle back on those one-off clients, circle back on older clients that you haven't worked with. I do have 2 or 3 clients currently that have sort of fizzled out. I think after the holidays, they wanted some content and then they sort of just petered out. I haven't really emailed them and say, hey, do you need content for the month? But if I was needing to, then that's something that I could do. I can say, hey, I hope things are going well. I noticed that you had a new editor. I haven't received any emails from them. I'm just wondering if you need content from me kind of thing. Just circle back and say, I hope you enjoyed whatever you did, like the blog writing that I did. I hope you enjoyed the email funnel, whatever. I have room for another project. Do you need, and then list, do you need an ebook? Do you need a sales page? Do you need blog posts? I can help with that. Even though it sounds like you're being a jack of all trades, if you offer a couple of services that are mostly copywriting, so the copywriting email, landing pages, ebook, things like that, and then the blog writing is content writing, then those prospects can be like, oh, you know what? I actually am thinking about creating a new lead magnet. So I do need an ebook or a white paper or case study. Then you're on their radar, they will hire you for that. So now that you have some tactics on finding those long-term clients, how do you keep those clients happy? How do you develop this relationship with them so that they keep you on board? They think of you all the time when they need content. They'll always think of their top writer, which hopefully is you. How can you develop that relationship? Let's look at a few tips to help you. The first thing that I always try to do is communicate as much as I can. Now, in the beginning, I made a lot of mistakes. I do have a video on the mistakes that I made, so make sure to check that out. I was oversharing. I was communicating too much. And so I learned over the years how to be professional, but communicate in a way that the client knows exactly how I'm going to deliver that project, exactly on how I'm going to write that project. So it's important for them to understand that. A lot of clients that may not pay well, that may not keep you, is if you, the writer, are hard to communicate with, hard to reach. I find that I've hired writers in the past for my niche projects, and if I can't reach them, if I ask questions and they don't answer me, I get a little bit anxious and I feel like, well, this is not going to be a good long-term relationship. because they're not even answering my emails. They're taking over a week to answer any questions, and then they miss some of the questions that I'm asking. In that case, I don't value them as a good writer. I'm going to let them go. Whereas I've had one particular writer with me for, I don't know, it's 3 or 4 years. Why? Because this writer delivers content very consistently. They've even asked for more content. So they were writing 5 posts a month for a lot of my niche projects, and I bumped it up to 10. Because of that, now they're making more money, but they're still just as consistent. And I said yes to that. I even gave them a raise because how valuable this one particular writer is for me, because I have many other side projects that I can't get time to write, and I don't rely solely on Jasper AI or ChatGPT to write that content. I do want some authenticity, some personalization in my content. And so I do write some of the content, but I need someone else to help me. And this writer has helped me with a lot of my projects. I kept this writer year after year after year. So communication is key to establish and retain that long-term relationship with these types of clients. As I mentioned with this particular writer, they delivered the work on time. I'm always amazed by how writers that I've hired here and there don't deliver their work on time, or they make countless excuses. On the other end, I'm a mom. I understand that if your child is sick, or I understand these things, I always give them the benefit of the doubt. I always say, when you can make it, then when you can make it. But it's hard for me because if I say I need this content at the end of the month on this day, no later than 12 p.m., I expect it to be there no later than 12 p.m. And for some reason, a lot of the writers over the years have failed to deliver their work on time for me. You as the writer, this is so easy for you to do. Even if you lack time management, which I do, put a goal on your calendar, space out your writing. Say 1 day for outline, 1 day for research, 1 day to write the rough draft, and then 2 to 3 days to edit and proofread it. Give yourself those mini goals to accomplish, space out your writing so that you can deliver the work on time, or even better, deliver it before it's due. I always try to deliver my work earlier than what the client asks me. At least 3 to 4 days. I always do that because I want to be on the good graces of these clients, because I know as a client, I would love that. I would love to have content delivered to me earlier than what I've said. Another way to develop long-term relationships with these clients is to develop a process between the two of you. This could take some time, and each client is different. Some writers might want 50% of their income for that project right up the front, and then they pay the 50% after. So that's their process. They might require a content brief from the client. And if they don't supply it, then you can supply the content brief and charge for that. Then they can use that template for their other writers. You can tell them, right? But you made it, so you have to be compensated for that, right? So for me, I've found over the years that I do like clients that have a content brief. It helps me with finding the right keywords, the intended audience, the objectives, why they want this piece of content, the competitors and things like that are on a content brief. So that's my process. I also tell them if they don't give me a deadline, I will tell them, give me 10 days to write the content. And again, going back to the previous thing, I will always give them the content before the 10-day mark. With my process, for some of my clients, I need a proofreader, or I need an editor, or I need a copy editor, depending on the client, on the type of content that I'm writing. Those jobs require different skill sets. Lately, it's been mostly just proofreading and editing for me. So develop your process to see what you need to make this relationship work, right? On their end, know when they're going to pay you and hold them accountable. Same thing with a content brief, hold them accountable. So you can see here in one of my blog posts, this is how I set up my plan for an article. I do put this in my freelance writing productivity planner, which I have a link in the description below, so take a look at. But here I just write the title, the publication, the due date, the word count, the keyword, and any other info. And then I can just sort of have my little checklist as I go. So the quick outline of what I'm going to be writing about, and then I go through these things. This helps me be accountable to my work, and it helps me develop a process so that I can deliver the content on time. As I mentioned previously, in finding those long-term clients, you want to upsell your services to these clients. So while you're writing consistently for them, you can also mention, hey, by the way, do you need such and such? For my Blogging Wizard client, I've written landing pages for him. I've written an ebook for him for a lead magnet. I've done a lot of extra projects for him because I asked if he needed it, right? So that's all you need to do. And then that gives you more work, and it creates a better relationship between you and your long-term client. So hopefully these tips help you. Make sure in the comments below you let me know if you have have any long-term clients, how that's going, or if you're struggling to find those specific freelance writing jobs. Make sure to give this video a like, subscribe to my channel if you haven't already, and I'll see you in the next video.